We're heading to a new area for a very modern build, and we get to do some renovations. Alright, so we had a new town open up, and it was the perfect opportunity to head on over and find out what they want us to do. I actually kind of like this place just as it is. It's very typical of a modern house, but it's going to be interesting to see what they want us to do. Looks like we have a bit of selling to do, so we'll start out there and sell whatever it is they want us to. Okay, they're selling the couch, but not the awful table. I'm just not a big fan of that table, personally. It's not my style, I guess. We're keeping the radio and the glass. We're getting rid of the chairs. Okay. Looks like the kitchen's pretty much staying in order. Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to go. There was something about having a space for the, office or something. So I imagine what's happening is that we're just creating an office space over here, which is why we're selling this off. All right, exciting part. We get to build something. I love doing the build. Yep, that's pretty much exactly where I figured it was going to go as well. So I think we should be able to drag this all the way. Maybe not. You're not going to let us... That might be easier to do from this side. So let's start it there and bring it up and across. And the satisfying build. I think, didn't we unlock recently, like a faster build? Because that's definitely moving faster. Alright, well, we're kind of trapped in here. Hopefully there's a door involved. There we go. Alright, I think we'll probably put it right where they ask us to. It seems like a good spot for it. Okay, we're definitely putting an office into here. So the trick is finding how we want to place this. I think I'm going to put the cabinet kind of to the back somewhere. Maybe tuck it in here next to those shelves. Might want to shift the shelf just a little bit over. And then we'll put the desk kind of angled outward. I think we're going to need to move some of this stuff and figure out how we want to arrange it. But then we'll bring this forward a bit, creating like the ability to sit at your desk and look out. Very nice. We'll put the laptop up here. And we've got the chair. Pretty good choices of colors and such. I'm not feeling too mad about it. I probably personally would have done a different color of the wood there, but I do have a problem of needing to match things a little too much. But we're just going to tuck some of this, like the boxes and such, into here. I don't want to put the plants in there, obviously. We can put this over here. Don't know if we need that for anything. Probably want to spin that so she can actually read it. I'm surprised that's not one of the things we had to actually get rid of. Okay, I'm going to set you over here for a moment before I figure out how I want to arrange this hodgepodge of items. I think we'll put you right in the center, and then you there, and you right there. This feels more like office kind of things. Although that coffee pot or whatever in there is kind of weird. Maybe we can fit you on the bottom. Oh, we can't close the door with that in there. So I guess we'll just tuck it over here. Okay, we'll place that chair kind of like a, client or something coming to visit. And, okay, where do we want to put the shelf? I feel like if I put it there, it's a little awkward there. Maybe over on this wall would be better. I'm going to regret not doing the wall first because there's paint involved. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, we'll put the clock up here above it. Oh, Tom is calling.
Well, hello there. How does it feel to be the most wanted house flipper in Pinnacove? It seems like the whole town's counting on you at this point. No matter if there's a wall to knock down or another to build, looks like you have all the skills needed in house flipping. Now you could easily take care of the Driftwood house renovation. What a shame that town wants to keep its ugliest house status.
There's always more to learn.
Of course, expertise takes time. I'm glad you understand that. Unlike Asenzo, they could take some time to learn a few things. For example, how to make houses that don't need fixing. But at least they provide more job opportunities for you.
Is there something wrong with the Senzo?
Not really. They're just a soulless company that makes copy-paste houses, only to sell them as custom-made for their clients. Except for that, they're totally fine. At least that's what I remember from the time I worked for them. I'm so glad I got a license to work on my own. That way I can find perfect matches between houses and their people. And with you on board, I can adjust those houses from time to time.
I think
I
I'm always
noticed
happy to
that,
help.
same as the rest of the Pinnacove community. In fact, they're so happy with your work that they'd gladly see you be the one who continues the renovation of the Driftwood house, if it ever comes to it. Although there's a beacon of hope for that community center. I've heard there's a fundraiser to continue the renovation.
That's great news.
Yeah, it's good to see someone cares and wants to do something. So let's hope they'll succeed. Regardless of the outcome, I'll make sure to keep you updated. Take care.
Yeah, I'm a real professional. I forgot to do the floors before I did anything else. Yay. Oh well. We'll get it. We just have to work around a few things. Oh, they were so impressed with our ability to paint through things that we got another painting perk. So we now get to unlock freestyle. I don't know that I want to, though. I mean, I still like having that, because I'm less likely to mess it up. I do notice that they only want me to do the one wall, but, you know me, I don't mind that the rear wall behind the desk is wood, but to me, having 3 different surfaces or colors within the room is too much, especially a room of this size. It's actually relatively small. So I just don't like the way it looks to have too many different textures and colors going on. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint all 3 of the white walls this lovely shade of blue. And I think that's going to look better in the end, in my opinion. Don't you agree? Alright, so we still need to find room for the rug and for this shelf in here. I think we'll just kind of tuck the shelf back here. I don't feel like we need... Oh, we need 5 of these? Oh, no. I suppose we can put it... back here. Kind of fit it behind... It does look like it attaches to the wall. But we'll move this probably up on top of the shelves once we've placed them all. It does look like there's some variations on this as well. So let's see if we do this. Okay, there's some that have closing and some that shelves, some with baskets. Okay, I think I want to do the basket type. Do a couple with the baskets. Then we're going to do a couple that have these that go down. So I think if we can get them to stack on top. They're not really doing that for me, though. I think that shelf is getting in my way. Darn it. Okay, well, we'll put it here behind the door. It's not exactly where I would want it, but yeah, if you're going to force me to put random things in, I need to figure out how to do it. I don't know what it is with them and this pattern for the rugs. It's so bad. And why a round rug in here? Like, how am I supposed to make this work? Like, I can't really put it under the desk. Yeah, we'll just center it in the room and pretend we are okay with it all. But it looks like this room is done. Alright, this time we'll have the sense to actually do the paint first. Oh, we need to put down a lot of this floor. It's a good thing we now have this larger size. Makes the whole process go a lot faster. Now, my personal preference would have been to cover the entire floor, including that kitchen, with this same pattern, but we'll go ahead and do what they want here. It's one of those situations where either or works. I just, personally, if a space is open like this, I prefer for the flooring to match throughout. Okay, just that made quite the difference. All right. I actually really like these couches. I'm not a huge fan of the brown, but I do appreciate them trying to warm up the color around here a little bit. Um, I mean, I guess it kind of draws on that, so it's not the worst decision, just not a personal preference decision. And I guess I can understand why you did the cream kind of colored sofa there, but um, I'm very much a match it kind of person, so that one's a struggle for me a little bit. I kind of want to try doing this in more of a, why am I sitting? Try doing this in more of like a green color, kind of sage or something to that effect. Let's see. If we look at the colors, yeah, the rich palette isn't really where I'm going. This is all way too bright. Maybe something more faded, like a warm green, or ooh, the faded warm green 4. Yeah, I like that color better. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and let my own preferences take over, and we're gonna match that. Then we're gonna get the bar stools over here. And it actually kind of looks a little bit of a greenish gray. So they might have been on a similar track to myself. I think I'll leave that with the color it is. It does look like we need a third one, so we'll just tuck that around the corner. Maybe we can get it in there. Oh yeah, we can get it in there. You need to have skinny friends, but we can get it in there. Okay, the TV cabinet. Definitely improvement over the last one, in my opinion. I'm going to put this over here. I kind of feel like I want to create a space for all of the plants. Also looks like I have some floor I need to finish. Oops. Okay, they wanted a bookcase. I think I'm just going to tuck that over here, kind of just hiding it away a little bit or creating a little separation. I think, yeah, we'll probably put this over in the corner. Don't know if I love that as the color option, though. Too matchy? Probably, but I like it better than the other color. Okay, then we do have a table and chairs that we're going to be putting in here. And I think I'm going to tuck that over here. Again, we need to figure out a better home for these plants. Let's just set you there. Do we have... Oh, I was hoping for some kind of skylight or something. This is not center. Not that I can say much. I'm not great about centering anything, but that feels a little better. So we want to center on that and on the picture. I think that's about as good as you're going to get out of me. Okay, then the chairs, again with the seat, I think we're going to go ahead and get that. It's a warm faded. Okay, we're going to place this rug over here. And this rug is ginormous. We're going to put it over here. Trying to center on things. I need to take it off of snapping to grid because that's driving me a little bit crazy. Okay, you need to come forward a little bit. I think that'll work mostly. Okay, and I think I'm going to pull the style from this one and copy that and paste it over to here. I don't think that's quite working as intended. I kind of want the top of this to be... Do I want to... Yeah, I want the top to be different. So let's make this and go with white. Do I want it to be painted? Yeah, I think that works better. It's at least closer. I feel like it fits the vibe over here a little better. I've never used the word vibe so much in my life. Okay, where did we all forget? Because you're definitely trying to tell me a few things. Okay, was that everything? Excellent. Okay, yeah. I'm glad that was it, because I knew I was missing something, but I didn't think I was missing too much. Okay, there's kind of a tall plant here, so I placed one on the other side over there. And I almost feel like I want to create a little area here. maybe we could at least pretend that there are some special lights around here to kind of give these the proper lighting that they need. I also need to change this rug because this is not going to work with what we have going here. Is it my favorite? No, but I kind of wanted to fade in a little bit and let the couches really shine. And I think it doesn't look awful. Kind of brings the brown from the kitchen, that coppery color, and kind of blends in with that. But okay, that is everything here. All right, what else is in store for us? Okay, the bathroom, I'm guessing. Oh, this is a bedroom. Why did I think this was a bathroom? What are we doing in here? They are really into their plants, aren't they? Because we are going to apparently sell off everything in this room and turn it into a plant room? That was unexpected. Even more unexpected is we're going to be building something here. Okay, so we get to there and up to there, and let's get it built. And we get another building perk point as well. Excellent. Let's check out what that is. Okay, surface finishes, building. Okay, brick by brick. Aiming at the brick row that you're currently building will make the process faster. You only need a little focus. Or we can make it cheaper to build walls. I think we'll take this one in order. And we have another wall to build, so we'll be able to get to see what that actually does. So if we keep it in focus, it builds faster. Oh, okay. As long as I keep that green, then it builds faster. Okay. Excellent. All right. So we got that. Now we need to paint a whole lot of green paint. This is pretty much... Yeah, I think doing the green in the living room is a good choice because they clearly like green. We're seeing a lot of it throughout the house, and I think the green couches were a good call. Okay, we don't have to paint the whole thing because there is a door going in here. So we're going to place that right there. And I want to figure out what we're doing in here. Okay, I'm going to guess some kind of surface finish. There we go. This is going to be tight quarters, but we can make it work. Okay, if I recalled, I saw bathroom fixtures. So I think I'll keep the tile. Why am I struggling with this today? I think I would have been tempted to change it out and just do the paint. But because it's going to be tiled, or because it's going to be a bathroom, I'm going to keep the bit of tile. Yep, definitely a bathroom. Okay, we'll put the toilet here. This is going to be a tight squeeze kind of bathroom. Then we got the sink cabinet. I love this sink cabinet. This is so cute. Then a nice mirror. Okay, for small bathrooms, I'm really happy with this one. This is really nice. I think we'll tuck this kind of over here, into the corner a little bit. We'll get your toilet brush tucked away right there. We've got the door. We need to get a light switch in here, which should go right around in that area. And a new lamp up above. Alright, now we need to figure out how to put all of these shelves and such together. We have a cork board. Lots of plants. Yeah, I think we'll start with this shelf in the corner. Seems like the most obvious spot for it. And we'll put the workbench. I think it has to go over here, to be honest. I feel like it's too big to go on the other wall. I don't like that it's going to create this kind of cramped space, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Alright, we have a plant stand. I feel like that should be near the light, especially if you're going to have actual plants in it. We're going to want a lamp up here to work with. The cork board, it makes sense for that to be up above the workbench, and I do love that we can expand this. So we're going to do that. I want to make it nice and big so we have plenty of room for our ideas. Not exactly centered though. Why do I struggle with centering things in this game? The only thing I can figure is because we're not really looking straight on anything, like hardly ever do we really look right on it. It's always at a slight angle. So it throws off my perception a little bit. Okay, we have a crate. We're gonna put you on the shelf here somewhere. Alright, we have a plant pot, which I feel like is quite large. I think we'll tuck that under here. Maybe we're actively working on it at the moment. Okay, how large are you? Okay. I think I'm going to pull each of these plants out, get an idea of what we're working with size-wise, and that will help me determine which planter they're going into and how I want to arrange it. Okay, so the Majesty Palm there, these little ones, these individual ones, I think I want to place on here. This one feels too large to try to squeeze in there. And then we'll put you over here. Now, can we get all of you into this? I think if we put these to the back, we can get that in there. And then these to the front, like so. That's a pretty decent arrangement. I mean, I'm not an expert in plants whatsoever, but I think I could live with that. Okay, we'll put a bucket over here. And I think we'll just put our tools... Actually, it feels like the tools should be up here. You know, we would want them handy, so that seems like the sensible thing to do with them, is keep them handy. And then a watering can. Can we fit you on a shelf? Okay. I put it so that the handle's out because that would be how you would grab it. That was my thought process anyway. Alright, so that is actually everything. Definitely just kind of getting started here on this room, but I think they'll enjoy that. I feel like there should have been a little more lighting in here. Or different kind of lighting. Okay, and there is actually a room left upstairs. So we want to sell the bed, the dresser, and a mirror. And I'm surprised they're getting rid of the green. And then we need to do some changes to the surfaces in here. Alright, what are we changing? Oh, the wall. Interesting. I didn't expect that. I guess I should have expected some wood at some point tossed on the wall. They seem very outdoorsy in a zen sort of way. Okay, that looks pretty nice actually. I'm not always a fan of putting wood on the walls, but I could live with that. Okay, with that high back, it doesn't want to go up against there. I kind of like the idea of this becoming our backboard. So I think I'm going to just do some quick rearranging. I think we're just going to change up the style of this rug a little bit. I think a white rug would look nicer under there. I also bought an additional table for the side, and I'm going to swap these plants because I feel like the taller one should be in the corner. Then we'll just tuck you over here. And we need to find room for 2 of these, which we should probably be able to get them right next to each other, side by side, and go ahead and put the mirror just right over here. I think maybe just straight on would look best. Okay, so that is the new arrangement of this room, and everything done. 3 stars, all done. We can go ahead and finish up. That was actually a much easier job than I expected it to be. I actually really like this house. I have this weird thing of heavily favoring very modern or very, very classic, like medieval type classic. If I could find a way to marry those 2 styles together, I'd have the perfect design. Is everything to your liking now? This is a great improvement. I like the new furniture, and there's space for my work, which is the most important, so thank you. In the future, feel free to ask for tips about plant cultivation. I'll hold you to it. All right, I think another successful job, probably one of the more successful, maybe because I finally allowed myself to make some changes that I wanted to make and not just go with their styles. You know, sometimes the job of a designer is to be able to tell their client, your idea is great, but here's how we can make it better. All right, what do you think of today's design? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and keep on being perfectly you.